the same household, and one person can present the same emotional issue differently than the other person. One person can be like
Mhm.
dismissive because of whatever went on in the household, and the other person can be clingy as shit, but it's still the same baseline root. They just present differently. I think Black as Fuck gave us a view of perhaps maybe some things that were left on a cutting room floor for Blackish that Kenya felt like he needed to get out there. Like, if these kids grew up super duper privileged, they would probably act more what we consider quote white. Like, you really talking to your daddy like that? Well, yeah, I know no other way to talk to him because everything I want I get. So why do I have to be under a more submissive, or worried about him saying who you talking to, or worrying about the black eye that your mama give you, or that twisted mouth and she ain't really saying nothing, but you know what that mean? Like, tighten your shit up and chill. I don't think that people were ready for realizing that it was the same family dynamic, and they both are privileged homes when you think about the Black family as a whole. But when you add a bit more commas to shit, niggas might be a little wilder. That we might skew a little.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't. Let me tell you something right now. If I had a little bit more money, I might act different. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm be honest. I think we all
I
would
think
act
everybody
different.
would act
Like,
different,
there was a
but
significant.
I know how I was. I know how I talked to my parents, and I wasn't privileged, and I
Mhm.
didn't have to hold my tongue, and I had no privilege.
So imagine if you were privileged. You might be out here calling your daddy a dick. Look at this
Oh,
face. I wish y'all could see this face. Look, she's
no.
shrugging. She's shrugging.
See, and I came from totally different. Like I don't even like now. Like I grew up in a household that it was like I don't care how much money we had or didn't have, you are going to mind your manners and be respectful. Like to this day, I cuss like a sailor, but if my mom and my daddy around, button lipped because I just know to respect it. And I make more money than what my parents did when when I was growing up. But I dare my daughter to talk to me a certain way because sometimes she says something. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What'd you
I
say?
mean, it's rooted differently.
Come
Yeah,
again?
of course. And
Yeah,
then
so I think if I had more money, I think our privilege, our the way we move would be differently. But me, I can only speak for myself. I still would have the same foundation as you are going to talk to me as if I am an adult and as if I am your parent because I'm not your friend. I've always come from that standpoint. So no matter the commas, and Lord, if you want to bless me with additional, I'll take it. I still would, I still would have that basis. Because when I was watching it, I said, oh, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I jumped up. I was like, I wanted to smack somebody's kid through the TV.
but also, what did you just say? Lord, if you want to bless me. So then there's the Christianity that comes into it.
Yeah.
They was out here doing what, popping
Yeah.
Molly. They was,
Yeah,
you know,
that's wild.
it was what, like, so there weren't those archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
to keep them in line. And it's like, the world is mine. I'ma act like it. And I think that people weren't able to see beyond it. And like Shanice said, the title may have been misleading. Maybe it should have been privileged as
Yes.
fuck, because that's what I saw.
Yeah.
I once I watched the first, me and the children watched maybe 2 episodes together. I finished it by myself because they really weren't enjoying it, which is fine. And I was like, all right, cool. I went all the way to the end, and then it was an okay show. I respect Kenya as a creator, so that's why I finished it. There are a lot of things that are trash. Like, for a long time, M. Night Shyamalan was the man, and then he did something, and niggas was like, "Nah, everything's trash." So this is Kenya's trash, but
Yeah.
that doesn't negate everything else that he's
Yeah.
created and given us.
No, I
I
love
don't take that
everything
away from
else.
him.
I just thought with Black as Fuck, I was gonna smell cocoa butter through the screen, and we was gonna be protesting and wearing our kente cloth and throughout. So when I saw the opposite, I
I
was like,
expected a bunch of Juneteenth type episodes when I watched this. When
yeah,
I watch
like I
Blackish
was going
and
to
they
learn
touch on
something.
episodes, even though the world is heavy,
Mm-hmm.
it's always funny. It's always funny, even though they still get the messaging across. This did not get it
Mm-hmm.
done. It missed the mark. Like it was.
He had an agenda. He had an agenda to get the things that were on the cutting room floor out there, and then it's like, it's Netflix, so I can just be as raw as I want to. And I mean,
Well, if he
yeah,
wants to type a memo up and let us know what his agenda was. I would love to know.
I don't need a season
Why?
two.
He doesn't have to.
I'm confused as fuck.
They don't need a season 2.
No, he's like, I mean, when you create, like we said, coming on here, you put it out there, you lose control of it once you put it out there. So we may never know what the mind was. And then I know that there was something circulating around saying a lot of the folks, the writers on it, were actually white. I don't know if that's true. I didn't dig enough. I didn't care. I watched the episodes that were there, and that's that. I've had the conversations, but I think that for it being a part of this conversation is us within our Black community remembering that my Black is definitely different from everyone else's Black. Y'all's Black are different even from people who are the closest to you, the folks you grew up in the house with. Excuse me, your Black
Yeah,
is
they
different.
didn't want to listen to Sum 41. I did.
And see, Shanice was my older brother. I was not that person.
I absolutely love alternative.
Yo,
I still listen to it now.
I don't know what the group name is, but all I heard every morning when he get in the shower is bleed out in my head. I'm like, oh my God, who is dying?
Oh.
Like, yeah.
So someone's gonna.
So we had different households.
And someone's gonna hear this come and be like, I thought this was the Black effect. What they talk about? Sum 41 bleeding.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But that was a part of, and I mean, I know we've had this conversation about bands and groups that we listen to. I think that I prefer to have a range of interests because I'm always surprising a motherfucker. They'll be like, oh, I ain't know. Yeah, because you wasn't supposed to. Sorry. Like, it's not for everybody. But also, when you're exposed to things, your taste changes. Your taste expands. And I feel bad for the folks who watched Black as Fuck, Black AF, and they weren't able to, I don't know, they just haven't been exposed to things. Like, I had a roommate freshman year who was super rich, and I didn't understand none of the things that Black woman was involved in. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then she transferred because apparently our school wasn't rich enough for her. And I went to a private school. And I was like, oh, bye, girl. I guess. Like, so she had a whole different type of Black than I am. I was like, I'm just here, hoping I make
your mantra.
All the time. I'm here. You know, I'm Lil Uzi Vert. It's only my third day out. I don't even know.
Sick of you.
Oh gosh, this was good though.
It was a needed conversation
for sure. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our segment of They Got Me Fucked Up. So this is where we take time to have a conversation about people who have us individually and collectively fucked up, depending on where you're at in life or whatever. I think it's more of a rant session most times.
Yeah. But I mean, it's needed.
Who got fucked up? My neighbors with that mattress against their house right now.
It's like going on to what week 2?
Child, I think it's week it might 3, be going into 4. I don't know. Trash go out on Tuesday, so
maybe if you drag it out for them to get the hint.
They ain't cut their grass neither.
Yeah, but you probably can't put the mattress out, right? You gotta make a special call.
I don't know, but you can't put it against your house.
You can't put it against the house neither.
So what I'm gonna say is that they haven't cut their grass. Y'all know I was out there a couple of weeks ago and I was gardening, so the front looks really. But you know what I'm taking is that this shit about to be where behind me in the fucking way. So my neighborhood is great though. Like, people are nice. There's a mix of folks, but they got me fucked up. I will share a time where the wife in particular had me fucked up, and I had only been in the house for 5 months at that time. It was raining. She knocked on my door. It was the night before one of my uncles. A lot of my uncles passed, and I should probably talk to somebody about that. This was years ago, and one of my uncles, his funeral was coming up, and she knocked on my door in the rain, in the dark, and said, "You got that tree out there in the back. I need you to cut it down." First of all, 7:30 at night. It's raining,
right?
And she we all look different because we're Black and we're colorful. She ain't look like nothing I never seen her as. So generally, she was covered. She was garbed. not this time. And I didn't know who the fuck she was. And I was, do I know you? Like, who are you?
Right.
So that was an instance in which she got me fucked up, and we haven't been on the same wavelength since, and that was about 4 years ago. So the current narrative is that I think that's just where she lives, in the having Toya fucked up neighborhood.
How many
How many
people
kids
live there? Yeah, how many people live in that neighborhood?
in and out in the house?
No, I mean in your neighborhood, in your Toya
Oh,
Latoya neighborhood.
they
They
got
got
Toya
you fucked
fucked
up there. Yeah.
Woo,
Is it a development yet?
it is. It's a cul-de-sac.
It's a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, there's some residents who aren't going anywhere. They're permanently set up, feet up. But yeah, I haven't been around people. Work has been
No,
fine.
I
I've
think
been
with
working.
mine hasn't been around people. It was just scrolling through social media, probably, which I need to stop. But
Mm-mm.
all these
What
protests
happened?
about these Karens and these Bobbies saying that masks are like slavery. I need y'all to stop. Yo,
I
I
never
did not
heard that.
either.
I
No
took a
share.
screenshot. I took a screenshot just to make sure I wasn't tripping. And like I took the screenshot, I let it like marinate in my photos for a few days, and I pulled it back up to see if I really had took a screenshot of it. And is this chick said she was protesting and was like, masks are like slavery. It's like equal slavery. Protesting, saying being stuck in a house is like slavery.
That must have been from white Twitter. I ain't see that on black Twitter.
It was a Twitter. It was. I want to say. Who reposted it? I want to say DL Hughley reposted it because he be on it. Let me pull it up because I had to make sure, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh no, this was a girl. A girl. April has no president. Oh yeah, but DL Hughley reposted it from her. Yeah, and she was protesting, and it says masks equal slavery. Now I just want to understand. The mask that you can take on and off depending on if you go in and out the house, how is that slavery?
Tell me more about slavery, girl. Tell me what you
Right.
know about slavery.
Like,
I
do y'all
don't even
really
know
want to see
nothing
the
about
mask that
slavery.
do y'all want to see the mask that we had to wear as slaves that prevented us from eating, that had the pressed up against our face and had the barbed wires and stuff over our mouth, so if we did try to eat it would cut our mouths and tongue? Are you talking about those kind of masks? Because those aren't the masks that you're wearing.
They always just do too much.
I was just like,
Do too much. That's it. That is it. Too much. Extreme.
Yeah.
The absolute most. And I was just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, this bitch can be fucked up here. I was like, I can't wait. I was shocked. I was like, and you know what? She wasn't a Karen. She was a Susan because she was old as hell. Susan was marching and then even like the flags, like the reopen whatever states, they're like, bring your flags. I'm like, I wonder what flag y'all gonna bring.
Carrying the flag of treason.
Like this
I'm so sick of it.
I am tired of y'all comparing every single thing to slavery. Or like the thing I sent you, Karen is like the new N-word.
It's not.
Let me tell y'all something right
you know
now.
It's like the N-word,
If I hear or if I
that's it.
the N-word, right? And if I see anybody repost it in agreement that I know, I promise you, these Twitter fingers are going to turn into trigger fingers.
Come on with the bars.
I want to know what spaces in life that I'm so privileged to liken something so, I don't want to call it trivial because it's not trivial, and I understand that people enjoy their social liberties, but that's an extreme,
right?
So
yes,
that makes me want to do some introspective work. Like, where am I so privileged that I would do that range of a comparison to say masks are like slavery?
The problem is, like, even though that's not
I'm trying to
trivial,
understand people.
To me, you are trivializing slavery because why
Yes,
do you
that
always
is
use slavery?
Exactly
why not the Holocaust? Why can't it be like the Holocaust? That was traumatic. No, but no one compares anything to that because you would never trivialize that. But it's okay to trivialize slavery. It just rolls off your tongue so easily, right?
White people are my favorite. So much fun.
Don't ever do that again.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No, but it really, I don't understand. Like, and they just make it seem like it's, like you said, it's so trivial, so small. And it's just like, I think with the Holocaust, people say that didn't happen, but whatever. But it's like, you can't deny slavery. And you can't deny the Holocaust either. But slavery is in your face. It still is happening. Mass incarceration, that's another topic. But, like, it still happens. So don't minimalize somebody's history behind a piece of fabric and 2 pieces of elastic that has to go on your face, and you get to take off. I don't get to take black off. I don't get to take my skin off. I don't get to take, years and years of oppression out of my mind, even though I didn't experience it. My family did.
And it's still bred within us.
Like,
We still all experience